Originally, we set out to create a vlog-like episode for the Mills McQueen channel, as it is something that probably performs a little bit better than the short film narratives that we put out regularly. However, shortly after concepting the idea and going into production, it just felt like we were celebrating mediocrity. No matter how stylized the piece was, as filmmakers, we want to strive to create films that not only depict the struggle of building these brands and the challenges and learning to become a filmmaker, but also do it in a way that if you are aware that it's a film or not aware of it's a film, you'll sit through the entire 11, 12 minutes of it. So this piece is the opening to our first episode in a new series called This is Being an Entrepreneur.
That's okay. It's okay.
Cookie and Uni come out from the storage space there, but it's a shot we didn't end up using.
Perfecto.
So we haze the interior of the storage space using a DF50 hazer that we rent from a rental studio here in Austin, Texas. And that just created a little bit of atmosphere as the garage doors opened. And then we're on a 35 millimeter on Tino's face as he opens this space. It took some explaining to Tino that this was a narrative and to not spike the lens with his eyes, which at the beginning he did a few times, but then he started to embody the character of himself and began to act. We were just walking Tino through the space, discussing blocking and motivation. We kept the camera static in both shots here and allowed Tino kind of to perform inside the frame. I'm standing to the left of camera in a completely different room, walking Tino through the action, finding a piece of furniture to bring back to his studio space. And then we're here with Tino. You can see the FX6 there, and it has an Atmos monitor. We're discussing the motivation and the action behind taking a piece into his workshop to polish, to replace the finishing, to kind of bring it back to life, because most of the pieces require restoration. And here I am asking Max, who works for me pretty frequently as an assistant, a young man who is very inspired by film and wants to be a filmmaker. I'm asking him to bring in the hazer so that we can bring atmosphere into Tino's workshop. And again, we're speaking primarily Spanish, some broken Spanish, some English. Chris and I are trying to communicate in both Spanish and English. Chris also speaks some Spanish. And it made for somewhat of an exhilarating experience and something very new for something I do quite regularly, almost daily, which is direct in English.
He comes, he puts it down, and that's everything is in frame. Action!
Now, the lighting in the space was very interesting. We didn't light anything, used available light, practicals inside Tino's workshop, and then the hazer, of course, to create atmosphere. We swing the light just a little bit to give it some feel, and then Tino, call action for Tino to bring in the side table, and shot it from this angle, which was Tino just to the right of the frame, coming in, and then we shot it from an angle behind this, which you can see here, and then you can get a little feel for how that light looked. Tino's not an actor. It was important to regularly show him the performance, discuss performance notes with him, although there is very little dialogue, but to give him a feel of how his performance, how the blocking, how the shots were coming together to create an image as part of this narrative.
Place this with the wheel. Okay. We'll need a two-shot of them.
Got it.
So we need Juan. We need to establish Juan, who has a project of his own.
Here we're just referencing the shot list versus the script, discussing the need to establish another character, which is Juan, and give him some blocking of his own, which was natural to him because every morning he comes in to work on a project of his own or to work with Tino.
Hola, Juan. Hola, Payan.
You can see there's some natural light coming through the windows. We've cut the hanging lights, and we're just having some nice fill from the outside door light, as well as fusion from the hazer. It's pretty underlit, but that's how I like things to appear on camera and in the final image, as it creates more drama And now we're showing Juan to accomplish the same initiative as showing Tino, showing him some of his performance with the blocking to show him how it works in the entire narrative. You can see from behind the back, the hair on the back of my head is starting to be lit because the sun is beginning to come over the building.
Tocar, tocar.
Tocar is to touch, so I was saying to touch, which is not linguistically accurate. These are the dose bags that arrived, too small from the printer, and for whatever reason on this day, they, Juan and Tino, referred to me as bills. Un paquete de bills, which is the package of bills, which is me, Mills.
Ah, Bill! There! Oh, okay.
So we shot it from that 3/4 angle in a medium to wide. Now we've moved in for this 2-shot. Tino and Juan studying the package with just a little bit of the package in the frame and primarily on their faces. And here we've shot the wide, and now we've moved. We've had that medium 2-shot, and now we're just going above shoulder to show a little of the hands on the package, to show a little more shoulder. I'm just guiding Juan into the frame so that we can still see and have both of their shoulders in the shot.
¿Qué te parece que es de Bill?
I've got the script in my hand, and Chris and I are just referencing mentally the shots that we've been through.
I mean, Antonio, me, Juan, them giving me the bag, and then we can kill Juan.
Okay.
Or rap Juan.
So I've moved into a performance now, as well as directing. Fortunately, Chris and I have worked together so frequently, I trust him to speak to him when my performance is not up to par. Here we're on the 28mm. We get this wide shot of all 3 characters and the package coming together in frame. The windows in the building are reflective, so Chris is in between one door window that's reflective and as a mirror and one window that's reflective, but you can see the characters in the background moving through these mirrors. So we have this shot and then me standing there in another angle to represent the importance of finally receiving these bags. Now we moved inside, shooting Tonio and Juan coming down the alley, and then me exiting through my office to greet them.
Yep.
I'm calling my own action here. Performance is light, working. I see Tonio and Juan coming down the alley. I get up enthusiastically to greet them. So here Chris and I are setting up the gimbal for the shot of Tonio coming outside of his workshops to reveal the bags for the first time, to reveal his face seeing the bags for the first time. It took a couple times to get this right. I was not in love with the shot. Without access or budget or time for a boom, we used the gimbal. And for the purpose of the shot, it certainly accomplishes it in some respect. So this piece, which again, the first episode in a series called This Is Being an Entrepreneur, will release this weekend, and it'll include the cinematic opening, some vlog style stuff, more cinematic stuff, and we'll continue to show how we shot these every so often. Thank you.